summer love.
Hey guys, this is Lorraine Lopez Loves podcast. And this week, Lorraine Lopez loves Derek Alvarado, amazing comedian, actor, writer,
Phone dropper.
Phone dropper. It wasn't even me that dropped my phone.
tequila drinker.
That was your phone.
Was that mine?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought it was my phone.
No.
We had a little shake up earlier.
Little snafu. We got it.
Yeah, it's all under control now. Had a couple cocktails during the setup.
A little pregame. You got a pregame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Relaxing a little bit. But Derek is a good friend of mine. Hilarious. And let's just
I know. I
start
kind of
talking
like
about
you just like talking about how awesome I am. It's great. I don't hear that enough. So I'm like, thanks, man. It makes me feel really good.
You needed that. You needed that.
I needed that.
You told me I brought you some tequila for
Yeah,
this.
you know, one more, I'll start crying. It'll be great.
What do you love about Derek?
Yes.
Well, I want to ask you, and this is the reason why you wanted the tequila, is we're just going to start out with it.
Okay.
What makes you feel sexy?
What makes me feel... she asked me this week. She said,
No, he was like, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I want to do a segment about, like, what makes you feel sexy. And he's just like, what? He's like, you better give me tequila if I'm going to have to be talking about this stuff.
Yeah, and also, I don't... Like, I don't know. I'm a dude. I don't know that I've ever, like, felt sexy. I've never been like, oh, man, I feel sexy. I feel horny.
No,
that's a
not
thing.
that.
But
No.
like, I don't ever feel like sexy.
Like a certain outfit when you're dressed up, or when you're
Nope,
like
100% self-conscious on any outfit that I wear ever.
nothing,
Anything.
okay.
Like if you wear anything that like, ooh, I feel sexy in this, you're probably like,
I completely relate to that.
fuck,
So
man.
how
like,
about you, Nolan? When do you anything? For
No,
you that makes
I
you
was
feel-
just thinking about that. I've never felt. I don't even know what that feels like.
Yeah.
I felt good looking.
Yeah, like
I felt like I look good right now.
Yeah.
I wore a suit to my brother's wedding in France, and he's a gay man married to a gay Frenchman, and they had this beautiful super gay wedding in the French countryside. The theme was just another gay French wedding.
Oh gosh. I
And
love that.
I wore a black boss suit with like a white button up shirt, but like 4 unbuttons.
Oh wow.
And I mean, it was just
you're in
chest.
Europe.
Right.
I was like the breeze on my chest, and I wore no socks too.
So that's it. That's it. A little air and a little chest hair.
And we got a picture for the gram, and man, it got like 100 likes. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This motherfucker gonna find himself a girlfriend here. I didn't find a girlfriend there.
No.
But, yeah. But that actually, I will say, yeah, I think that's the most.
Nice.
I think that's the most sexy I've ever felt, only because I had so much chest exposed.
Yeah, that's a sexy
Not
move
freedom.
by a
But
guy.
you're allowed to
That's
do exposed chest in Europe. You can't do that shit out here.
People do it. I have friends that do it here.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
You know.
you hang with friends that look like they come off as guys that are like, oh, I just got back from Europe. Like, bitch, you ain't in Europe. You're in fucking West
Also, like,
Hollywood
just
right
Tuesday
now.
at
Yeah,
noon.
yeah, exactly. Fucking button your shirt up, bitch.
it's only certain people could pull it off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Europe,
Yes.
you can
Yes.
do that.
Fucking who am I thinking of? Oh, do you not want to say names right now?
Yeah, no. I have one of my best friends, Carlo. Is
Carlo.
and he wears
But
the
he's-
shirt, and
but
he,
he's
and he looks
real
magnificent.
Italian.
He really,
He's
he's
an
a real
Italian.
Italian, and he goes back and forth.
He's
so he
so
can do that.
Italian. Like, if you took all the hair off of his head, you could cure baldness in America
gosh.
for white guys.
Oh gosh.
He's got
It's
a mane.
so fucking amazing. Like, I thought I had good hair, and then I
Gray
see
hair,
this
gray
motherfucker, and I
hair.
was like, oh my God.
Carlo.
That's the best hair I've
Yeah.
ever seen. But this dude, and he's just
This-
like, I don't even know if he buttons his shirts. Does he? Is he just belly button out like all the fucking time?
No, I know. I'm really so
He's just
uncomfortable. I'm like, wait, this is not. We gotta stop. So with your stand-up, so you have a girlfriend, and
Yes.
you recently moved in together,
Yes.
and she has a daughter. So you're like basically like
I'm a
you're
fucking
dad
overnight
now.
dad. I'm an overnight dad.
It's crazy. I knew you back in the day when every time we met, you had a new date.
You knew me back in the day when it was just bad decision, Derek.
No, we did a couple sketches together.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, okay, guys, we're doing a meeting. We're meeting here. And all of a sudden, there's like a chick right behind Derek. We're like, who is this chick? Like, every single time. It's crazy. But so does your girlfriend come to your shows and in your, do you talk about her in your stand-up?
I do talk about her in my stand-up sometimes. I kind of I work her into kind of even some like old jokes, that are about older girlfriends. I'll probably switch her out in with, but she's only been to one show, and she actually doesn't think I'm funny.
Wow.
And doesn't enjoy stand-up she thinks I'm funny in like real life, but when she saw me on stage, she was like, Did
she give you feedback?
No, her feedback was, and then changed the subject and talked about what we had to do the next day.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I think earlier we were talking about what you want to discuss and not discuss here, and I was like, oh, it's fine. I don't think she'll listen to this.
That's crazy. No, for me, that is actually a requirement to date me. Is you must think I'm hilarious.
Oh, you must think you're hilarious.
You must be you have to get my humor. And I'm usually not, I don't necessarily think I'm a huge funny person in real life. Like, I'm usually really just calm and normal.
No, I thought you were fucking boring as shit the first. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
All right, yeah. But no, I need that, and I actually went on a date with this guy one time. And on the date, he was like, I hate stand-up comedy. I hate it so much. And I'm like, you knew I'd do stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah.
And we were on the date, and he hated everything about me. I could see it in his eyes, the anger. And it's just it's weird.
Well, that was always something so annoying with me, I think, with dating, I don't know. It's just, I feel like people that don't know a lot of stand-up comics, too, they're like, well, all stand-up comics come from, like, a dark place. They're all, like, sad, and they're all this or whatever. And I was like, how much stand-up have you watched? Have you just, like, read a book about stand-up from, like, back in the day? Like, that's it. Like, no, because I feel like now, I don't know, like, for me, like, I've never been, like, depressed or like, but even like my stand-up has nothing to do with that. Like, I'm just a storyteller. That's all my stuff is.
Yeah, I don't think your stuff is like self-deprecating, is it? No, not really.
Maybe
self-deprecating is different than like demons.
Yeah, exactly.
It's self-deprecating can be light.
Yeah,
look at my dumb face.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy.
Exactly. I used to talk about how I only would I used to only be attracted to like crazy bitches. And just terrible decisions. Those are the only girls I dated forever. And I was like, why isn't this working? I love you. But the bitch tried to stab me. And it's like, that's just like a normal.
Yeah. It's fun.
That was a normal Tuesday date for me.
As for me.
And so I feel like, especially being on like Bumble and Tinder and all that shit. And like, I couldn't put that I was a comic on that or have any pictures of me doing stand up on that because girls would be like, oh, you're a fucking comic or you're a fucking actor. Like, I don't
it's a red
like
flag.
I already fucking know what you are. Like, moving on. And I'm like, I'm a person. I'm not just a label. I have feelings.
This is in LA, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's I feel like that'd be a great profile in like St. Louis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it makes you like interesting. I feel like here it's more of a red
But who's
flag.
the guy in St. Louis that's like, I'm an actor in St. Louis.
Well,
that's not a thing. Nolan, do you have a girlfriend?
I'm married.
Oh, you're married. Oh my god, I did not know that.
His ring right
cool.
there.
Nice. Wow, how long have you been married
First
for?
thing
7
I
years.
noticed.
Whoa.
7 years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I was
Amazing.
saving this for the podcast since this is coming out now.
What?
I'm going to propose to my
No.
girlfriend.
Oh my god. Wait, is she gonna
on
listen to this?
Thursday.
Oh,
No,
okay. Yeah.
are you kidding
It's not
me?
going to
2
come out.
days from now.
Do you want to do it at our?
This is crazy.
Isn't
Wow.
that fucking
Do you want to do it
nuts?
at my show and just come to my show and buy tickets?
You know what? If she was a fan of stand-up comedy, maybe.
Oh my god.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Wow.
Thank you.
How are you
Yeah.
going to do it?
Oh man. Okay. So should I just
Just
give
go
the-
for it. I mean,
Yeah,
this
fuck
isn't
it.
coming out for a while.
How fun is this that this is being told before it happens? That's
Yeah,
great.
this is great.
It's a great part.
Because I was like, can I talk
Podcast
about that
magic.
tonight? And then I was like, oh yeah, it's not going to be, and also she won't fucking listen to it anyways because she doesn't think I'm fun. Anyways,
She will now.
Yeah. No. So Thursday night, she thinks we are going on a double date with some of my friends that are coming in town from Texas that she's never met, and I'm going to have. We have a rooftop patio. No big deal.
Wow.
All right, man.
That's what happens when you move to North Hollywood.
Okay.
Nice.
And so we've got that. So I'm going to decorate that like the fucking Bachelor, which I didn't know how to decorate it. I had to ask her friends because they were like very concerned on how I was going to do it and decorate it. And I told them I wasn't going to do anything. And they started sending me all these like Pinterest pictures of like, it better look like this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do, I guess I got to buy rose petals. I got to buy
rose petals.
fucking candles and a bunch of stuff. I'm going to decorate it all nice. I'm a record player out there. I'm going to be playing our song. And then
What's the song?
ooh,
what is
our song is Adore by Prince. Do you guys know this song?
No, sing it.
Yeah,
yeah
let me sing.
I know the full effect.
No, anyway. I mean, I almost hit that. I mean, I feel like I can hear my pitch right
It
now.
was the headphones. It's hard to
Fucking
sing on
perfect.
these.
Yeah. So anyway, so then I'm gonna get her up there, and then I'm gonna have her daughter, who I can't coach her beforehand because she'll blow it
Yeah.
because she just turned 3. But I'm gonna have to. I have an hour to teach her with a handful of M&Ms to say, like, I want you to come outside, and I want Derek to be my dad.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Damn.
so when she goes outside,
Producer's crying.
and so then when she goes outside, we'll have all the stuff out there, and then I will do my thing where I'll have to write something and figure out what I'm going to say to her, and then it's going to be at sunset, and we're going to have like a bottle of wine, and then it'll just be us out there. Her best friend's going to help me set it up, so she'll probably be there, maybe FaceTiming my parents so that they know what's up.
Nice. Are you
And
gonna
then-
videotape it?
Yeah, so she'll probably be in charge of that and then disappear. And then I was planning on us 3 being up there, and it'd be kind of chill. And then her best friend's going to watch the little one while we go to a dinner. And then just the dinner, just her and I. And then on the way home from dinner, I'm going to say like, hey, let's, pop in this place for just one more drink. And she has like a diehard group of like 16 best friends because she's from out here.
Okay.
And they're all going to be there at the bar. So like as soon as we walk in, they're going to be like, hey. And then
That's awesome.
yeah, that'll be
Oh my gosh.
that'll be the thing. That's the plan.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
The kid thing is amazing.
yeah.
You're becoming a dad. I think that's
Dude, I became a dad overnight.
Like, how did you know? Like, that was when did it hit you? Or you're like, okay, this is I'm gonna do this, or what
with
about?
her?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd been like searching for like this because I dated so many,
Yeah.
fucking duds in the past. Just bad decisions, and not to say that any of them were bad or mean or anything. They just weren't for me. They weren't my fit, and I feel like I kind of always knew, like right
When
away.
you met her.
Yeah, I always knew right away, and I always felt like when I meet the one, like I'll know immediately. And on our first date, I was like, oh, this one's like a little different. And then after a couple of dates, I was like, okay, I think this one. So,
God, it's
and
amazing.
then
that's awesome.
yeah, and then
Well, it's like she before you, she was a single mom.
yeah,
I just think that's really cool.
yeah. I mean, it's been rough for her. So it's like the maturity and like the, I don't know, just like the kind of person she is. I think that's also what kind of attracted me to her, because like she wasn't some just like fucking floozy that was out for a free dinner when I took her out,
But that's a really beautiful thing, man. Like that's a heroic thing. To be the dude that completes that puzzle, and also I'm not single mom is more heroic.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to be
Yeah.
the dude that says I'm going to complete this thing. That's a really cool thing. Very cool.
Yeah, it's
Thank
beautiful.
you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's something that, and it's so cheesy. Like I think when I like say it out loud or whatever, but it's like it's something that like you never knew that you needed until you got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I never and also like I've just been constantly living my life for me with like with like my income of just like going to dinner 6 nights a week, you know, like it fucking, you know, just stupid, just spending just stupid, like, oh, I spent $400 on Uber last weekend. What the fuck was I doing? You know, like that was just like,
right now.
Yeah, exactly. No, but because you're just like living your life, like having fun, and like I had no, and now like it went from that and it changed overnight, and then you're like, oh, like start living my life for somebody else, and it's. There's other people.
I love that just happens, because I always think, because I'm always dating, and I kind of lost that, where I'm like, maybe it will just never happen. And then you think
but I thought that too, because like you are a hopeless romantic, just like
I am really.
You know, so
I'm like crying.
This is a deep one.
This is the funniest podcast. No,
I just told him that I don't ever let guys that I date see my stand-up. So I just feel uncomfortable. But one time I did meet a stand-up comic, not in LA, but he listened to my stand-up, and it's a lot about dating. And I usually feel like I'm scared that it's going to turn off a guy. And after the set, he goes, I really loved your stuff. He's like, you're just a hopeless romantic.
Oh, that's great.
I know. I love that.
That's great.
Nice. I'm like, really?
You're just a little hopeless romantic.
Okay.
Details.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
Thanks, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I love this.
Yeah. No one loves it more than my mom.
Moms
like,
love that.
Fucking.
And you're such a huge family person. I just like looked at your Instagram, and every picture is your girlfriend and her daughter, and then or your mom and dad and brother. You're just such a family person.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful.
Yeah, I was like, why don't I have more followers? I'm like, oh, it's just because it's only my fucking.
It's really cute. It's like every picture is a massive family photo.
That's awesome.
I was like, let me see what Derek's up to. I was like, that's cool.
Hanging with his family.
Right?
But that's like what really matters.
Yeah. It's important. That's cool.
I wish I was better at like the social media stuff, because like I'm on Instagram all day. Like I feel like everybody is.
Yeah.
But I just like. I never get like, I'm never like, oh, I need to post this picture right now. It's always just like, oh, I'm with my family or my girl or my daughter.
And it shouldn't be so like thought about. Like
it's not like a picture of me.
You're just doing the happy moments.
With a shirt off flexing, being like, 9/11
right?
was a sad day. Everyone should know.
See, that's the hard part. Also, like if you're dating someone, like I wouldn't want to date that person. I mean,
You've dated that guy like 9 times over for sure.
No, I've not.
No?
Definitely not. No, that's not. I don't date that type.
You don't date the hot guys?
I'm trying to date the hot guys now. I am. No. I go through phases.
Wait, where's the button that we press?
I know, right?
Where we don't want to.
If you're uncomfortable, press this. Hold on. Should I? The whole time I'm like, oh, Derek, stop. Stop. No, I do. I like hot guys.
I feel like you're fucking lying again.
No, I'm not. I really do. It's crazy. So you're from Texas?
Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on. What do you mean you like hot guys?
I love it. Noel's like, he's like, well, hold on.
That seems such an obvious.
Duh.
I like hot guys.
We're straight dudes, but we like hot guys too, man. Like, you know,
my best friends.
Fucking hot dude.
I wish I had some hot best friends.
I don't know. I've gone through phases. I don't know. I date a lot of hot guys.
Are you so humble?
No,
about
I really
it?
No, I can't, because I don't know this is. No, I like, yeah, there was a moment where I wasn't.
But
okay?
what I'm asking is like, do you feel bad or good? I can't tell which side you're on.
I mean, yes.
Do I feel guilty about it?
You do.
Why
feel
would
guilty.
you feel guilty?
Yeah.
Hot guys got to get that loving too.
Yeah.
Are you saying you wish you were dating more guys that had more substance?
No, I do date. No, that's not the problem. I date guys with substance all the time.
But they're also hot.
No.
Nah.
No, I've dated a lot of guys that were amazing and not hot, and I'm not into looks. Oh. Looks don't matter to me. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
I really don't care how you look.
So then what were you saying about hot guys?
He's like, because I'm a hot guy.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever, dude.
I don't know what he's saying. I think it's the way he's saying it, and I'm like, what? Like you're insinuating something I don't understand.
No, I know. I could just tell that you're uncomfortable right now, so I just want to keep pressing it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I'm not basing it off of anything.
There was a moment that I don't care about looks at all, okay?
Yeah.
So, but recently I decided, it's like, you know what? I'm going to date some hot guys right now that have substance.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to wake up today. It's fucking Tuesday. I'm going to start dating hot guys starting today. All right. I'm just going to make that decision. You know what? Any fucking guy, no guy just woken up and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just going to start dating hot chicks today. Yeah. Starting today.
No.
Fuck substance. I'm just going to start fucking hot chicks.
No,
what?
This is the thing. I have been in relationships that were amazing, and I've loved these people so much. And I've dated people that I've not been completely into. Like, I was like, oh, I can be with this person. I like this person. But I'm like forcing it. I've done that a lot.
What do you, like liking them? Or being attracted to them? Or
because,
personality?
Maybe I don't have like the animal attraction. Maybe I'm just like...
You mean a hot guy. So you're saying like...
No, it doesn't have to be. No, but I've also dated people that were not hot.
Like they're like a 9.5.
But I've been like so into. Like I've been like, fuck, I don't know what it is. But there's guys that I just don't have the chemical reaction. And I'm like, this guy's so cool and a good person. Like he's like would be a great guy to be with. And
chemistry.
Yeah,
Chemistry's
so I need someone
thing.
with chemistry.
Yeah.
So it's not about being hot. It's about chemistry.
Mm-hmm. So you've dated like attractive hot men that you didn't have chemistry with.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And vice versa. In every
Gotcha.
Yeah. That was a lot.
Yeah. I'm glad it may have been selfish, but I wanted this.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. So you're from Texas, right?
Back on that, yeah.
And you're Mexican. But you don't speak Spanish, right?
I mean, I speak Texican.
Okay,
yeah.
That's cool.
I was at a Colombian restaurant today ordering dinner, and first of all, do you know what a fucking Colombian accent sounds like?
I had my last guess. Diosa was Colombian.
Oh, she's Colombian. Yes. So my future wife is Colombian. Mm-hmm. So I just started learning their accent because it's crazy different. Crazy
is
different.
The Spanish completely different too?
It's different. They pronounce their double L's as like a J sound, and so there's like I don't know. So anyway, so like when her mom starts speaking really fast and starts yelling at people, I'm like, fuck, is she mad at me? Like, what did I do? But so I was there. I don't know. I can communicate very easily, but I just have to ask them to slow down.
Yeah.
But that's my Tex-Mex extent. We grew up like speaking Spanglish.
Me too.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
No, the same.
Yeah.
But my mom, she was born in Mexico, and my dad is like, I think it was like third generation, but with assimilation, he didn't grow up speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Even though my grandparents are like completely fluent.
Of course.
But I think like with that, like he's learned a lot, but it is very like Spanglish.
Yeah. Well, that's my so my family, you know, my grandfather passed when he was 97, so he was like super old, and he fought in like World War II and like all this crazy shit. When he was growing up, when he was a very, very little kid, they were like the wealthiest family in West Texas, and then the Great Depression hit, and the government took everything. Oh, wow. And then he had to go to join World War II and do all this stuff, and then eventually ended up moving to Houston a long time, or in like the 60s or whatever, and when my dad and all of his brothers and sisters were born, and they moved into a white neighborhood. And being the only Mexicans in the white neighborhood, they were like, don't speak Spanish. Mm-hmm. Because they were trying to like fit. I mean, they're kids. Yeah. They're trying to fit in with kids in the fucking 60s and 70s. And they're like, don't speak Spanish. And so they just grew up speaking Spanglish. And that's just kind of how. But it's weird, too, especially being out. In Texas, it's not as weird because there's a lot of that. And there's a lot of Texicans and Tejanos is what we call them in Texas. But out here, when I meet Mexicans out here, they're literally kind of like fucking mad that I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. My dad too does the same thing. Like he would say, like he would go in a white neighborhood and like they would beat him up because he never fit in any. Yeah. So that's just how they grew up in that time. But here, I meet people constantly as well, and people are always like so disappointed. I'm like, what? I can't help. I mean, I speak Spanglish as well, but I can understand completely. And my family, you know, is a lot of my family doesn't even speak English.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy.
Same thing with mine.
And it's like so Mexican, and like the culture is like there.
Yeah.
And
I was in a Spanish spam commercial.
oh wow.
They cut all my Spanish lines because they said I had an accent.
Way.
It was the first thing I booked in LA.
Gosh.
First fucking thing. Cut all my fucking lines.
And you couldn't keep the footage? No.
No. I have the footage. I can show it to you.
Please post that. Post that on your Instagram, please.
It's a pretty good. It's spam. Or as they call it in Spanish, it's spam.
It's spam.
It's spam.
Which is actually funny because I looked up your stuff. I Googled you today.
You Googled me?
I Googled
oh shit.
You. Yeah.
What
I didn't realize
up?
you were into Django too. Was that real or not? Was that a comedy sketch?
Do you know Andrew Bachelor as King Bachelor?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So that wasn't a real
King
footage?
Batch?
King Batch, yeah.
Batch?
King Batch. He's got like 18 million followers or whatever. So him and I were in fucking Groundlings together like forever ago. And he was like, hey, man, I'm on this thing called Vine. I got all these followers. I was like, sounds fucking lame, dude. Like, whatever. So, like, we were both making sketches, and I did a sketch. I used to do a sketch called Handsome Police, where it's like two idiot cops accidentally solve crimes. And he was one of the guys that we arrested in episode 1, and it was like before he got huge. And then he was like, oh, hey, I got all these followers. Will you be in this thing with me? So I was in a couple sketches with him. And then all of a sudden, like overnight, he fucking went from like, oh, I got a couple 100,000 people following me. I was like, what do you mean followers? Like, this was literally at a time before any of that stuff existed. And then like no one was really on Instagram, and no one was like,
Vine predated. Yeah, man, that was a crazy thing because it predated Instagram.
Exactly.
But YouTube had a thing, but
exactly. But then he took his Vine people over from Vine to Instagram. Yep. And then, now he's got like, I don't know how many, like so many. So, so anyway, so he wrote a like a 30-minute Django 2 parody.
Okay, so I thought that was like the actual Django movie.
No.
I was like, I couldn't tell because it looked really good. I was like,
no,
whoa.
yeah, it looked.
I didn't know this movie.
It's shot really well, but I mean, if you were to see me, you'd be like, "Ain't no way Quentin Tarantino
but I was
like
fucking."
Too,
it was like this Mexican. I didn't even know that was.
I was
I
was a white slave guide.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I was so confused. I was like, "Wow, this is very interesting." Cool, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, I watched a lot of your videos before today.
You didn't watch my Transformers reel? I have the opening line in Transformers 2. That was like
I watched your reel. Yeah.
Okay, which one? Well, I got too many of them.
It was crazy. I didn't realize. I'm like, dude, you've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, nothing to show for it. It's fucking weird.
Well, actually, you talk about how you're like typecast.
Oh yeah. Oh god, no! I'm constantly telling Lorraine, like I'll text her because I feel like I don't know why you're like my go-to texter, and I'm like, looks like I'm auditioning for fucking Mexican plumber number 2 again, and like I'm not gonna, I show up looking like I look like this, and I show up there in a room full of like fat super dark Mexicans, and I'm like, I shouldn't have worn this shirt to this fucking like I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna get this part.
Isn't that weird when you're not type enough?
Yeah. Dude, it's weird.
Crazy,
like
that's all you get. But that's all your auditions.
But my agent, well, 2 things. My agent A thinks I'm super fat. She is convinced I'm fat. Fat. She uses the word husky, but also like, you're hiding something, Derek. She's like, you're fat.
Oh my god.
And I'm like,
wow.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Crazy.
And then I'm not Mexican enough.
Yeah.
All my agents though have been like, oh, you're not Mexican enough. Oh, you don't speak full Spanish? You've got a fucking accent? Nah, you're not Mexican enough. Like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, all right, well, send me out for the Ryan role. Nah, you're not white enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll just fucking sit over here then.
Well, that's like my problem with acting was that it was like all I was getting was those auditions.
Yeah.
You want to be like a Sofia Vergara, like super like, and you're like, there's different things. Like, you don't have to be just a stereotype. So that's what actually got me into writing and then got me into stand-up was, like, I want to talk about this shit. I don't want, assimilation. It just doesn't matter. There's
well, that was the thing, too.
We're all Mexican, but, like, I feel like so judged most of the time. I'm like, it's nice to talk about it.
Yeah, and I feel like I actually have a voice with stand-up as opposed to just, if you look at my IMDb, it's like, Mexican valet, Rogelio, Mexican cop number 2, and so I'm like, man, I got fucking 2 lines, 3 lines.
You need to do a joke about that. That is fucking funny.
So yeah, it's I don't know. That's why that's the initial thing that that kind of got me into because I was always so intimidated by stand-up. It always fucking scared me, and I was like,
it's terrifying.
I was like, I can't do it. And then one day I was like, fuck it. Like, that's the one thing that I've always wanted to do, and I've always been too big of a pussy to do it. And then I just started doing it, and then I was like, oh, that's what heroin feels like.
Yeah,
you're like, that's my drug. That's the thing that, like, because some people get that and some people don't. I feel like it's so many, and I feel like a lot of actors out here are like, I'm gonna try stand up now, and you're like, but you're not funny.
Yeah.
You know, and they do whatever, and they try it, and they're just like filling up fucking open mics or whatever. Yeah. But like, if you're like a real stand up, like you just like think. I feel like all you do is like think like a stand up, and then
it basically takes over your whole.
It
entire
takes
life.
over everything. Everything. I feel like every situation I'm in, I'm like thinking of like, okay, like how am I turning that into like a little bit of a bit? Or like I'm constantly, I'll be with people and I'll be like, all right, hold on one second.
I know. I'm like,
am
I
like
so annoying?
Write it down, and it's all like, if you were to read my notes, you'd be like, this guy's fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
None of this makes sense.
I love notes pages.
Oh God,
those are the best.
The
Jews masturbation.
What's the best though is like when I write shit down, I'm like super hammered, and then the next day I wake up and I try to read my notes of like what I wrote, and I was like, what the I don't even remember the premise of this joke. You're like, the Jew's on a fucking rainbow masturbating with a knife. I was like, what the fuck is
No, I just read one today, and it was just like, I died last night. I'm like, what does that mean? You know, I was like, it sounds so sad. Did I? I don't remember. I went to Amsterdam and I did mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
And I did stand up, and I was by myself, and it was my first day. Well, I think.
Wait, hold on. But you were on stage on mushrooms.
I was on stage on mushrooms.
How long was your set? 12 hours?
I think it was 10 minutes.
You think it was a minute and a half? She had a minute and a half.
No, I videotaped it.
Oh, fuck.
I did.
I need to see this video.
It's so bad.
Man.
It's so
of course
depressing.
it's bad.
It's so depressing.
But you're on drugs. Have you?
Do you know everyone? Do you know that people in Amsterdam don't do drugs?
They don't.
They're like, 'cause it's not cool. They don't care because it's always there.
Right.
And it's like American tourists that are like, oh my gosh, mushrooms.
Of course.
So I was wearing a mushroom shirt. I went on stage and I'm like, hey guys.
You were a fucking mushroom.
Yes.
Like you embodied a mushroom.
I was so happy, and I went up there and I was like, guys, has anyone tried the truffles? And they just look so
and
mad.
And let me get, so I've never done comedy in Amsterdam. So is it an Amsterdam crowd, or is it like Americans going to stand up in Amsterdam?
No Americans. Like maybe one American, maybe two max. But it's like international. It's an international show, so it's people from all over, just English speaking. So you get like Spaniards. So it's hard because everyone has different types of comedy. You know, it's not the same. So, and especially I think it's
but they're locals. You're ish.
Yeah, I guess so, because everything's so close from a train. But you notice how different people take comedy in. Okay. Like Dutch people don't like to laugh out loud. You know,
really?
That's what I like to tell myself. They're just very and they don't like to be talked to. So if you were trying to communicate and do some like crowd work, they're just so uncomfortable. And when I was trying to do that, people were just like looking at me so sad. And then you're on mushrooms, so you're feeling you're so
they were melting.
You're in tune with people's like emotions, you know, and they look so sad when they're listening. And I was just like,
felt their energy.
I'm hurting them.
Their purple auras.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So. You did what? 10 minutes? 12 minutes?
I think it was like a 10-minute set.
Okay, and did you fully bomb, or
no,
did it?
I fully bombed. Like, there was none. I don't even think there was any left.
Were you enjoying the bomb,
no,
or were you?
No.
Was it heavier? Because I know I've done mushrooms before, and when I do mushrooms, I can only do mushrooms around people that I love in scenarios that I love, because it's just you're taking you're taking on the energy around you, correct?
Well, that's why I was like,
and so that bomb, was that the worst bomb you've ever had?
Probably yes. Probably one of the worst. Yeah. And it was an actual comedy club. It was like, there's only two comedy clubs in Amsterdam.
Their comedy store there.
It was like the nice, like it was the most beautiful venue I've ever performed in. And
how many people were there?
I mean, maybe like 60.
Okay.
It wasn't like a big, you know. But
was it a high ceiling, low ceiling? Was it a deep room or?
I mean, there was like the whole window was like to a canal and boats.
Was it fucking
beautiful.
daylight or nighttime?
It was nighttime, but then they closed it. I know, I'm just, you know, but the vibe was nice. Yeah, I was feeling good.
Okay. And then your opener was...
Hey, guys.
Hey,
guys. And I thought I was so funny. I was like, I'm going to kill. Like, I was so excited. I had to, did, an Instagram post, and I was like, what's up with the doors in Europe? Either they lock you in or they don't close. And I was cracking up thinking that was so cool. And I remember I got 100 likes. Just kidding.
100? Fuck you,
no,
man.
I'm just kidding. I got no likes. And I was like, oh, I gotta delete this shit. This is so crazy.
Did you delete it?
They did.
Oh,
I should have just left it as a memory.
Yes.
Oh,
that's the best thing is remembering your failures.
I know.
Gotta keep that shit.
But I also, I just came from Ibiza.
Fucking listen to this fucking.
No.
Are you kidding me?
100 likes and
fucking.
Ibiza.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
I'm
in debt.
Such
Let's
a
just say I'm in a
fucking...
lot of debt. Okay, I'm in a lot of debt. But
all right.
I went there and I was chewing on my cheeks the whole time because I was on Molly.
Yeah.
And also right before,
in Ibiza.
And right before this, we were talking about. You were saying back then, all my jokes were about Tinder and drugs, and I was like, oh. Fuck, that's all my jokes are right now, dude. No, but I had fucked up cheeks, and this guy had asked me. He was like, "Hey, do you want some chewing gum?" And I was like, and I was on mushrooms, so I was thinking too hard about it. He's like, "I don't know what chewing gum is in America, but chewing gum is this thing, and it's you chew it." And I was like, "He's like, you just look like I asked you to give me a blowjob in the bathroom right now."
Yeah.
I was like,
but
that's
funny
how
bit.
it is.
That's a funny bit.
Nothing, everything's so different. Sayings and words mean everything. It's all English, but that was a different thing. Doing stand up there was you had to really, read the room.
What did you feel doing stand up over there? Were there things that that fucking hit here and you're like, boom, that's a thing, and then out there
Mexicans don't exist in Europe. They don't know what that is. And honestly, I text you when I was there. Remember? And you told me, you said just tell them that Mexicans are just like Italians but with shittier food. And I used it.
Did it work?
And it killed.
Oh!
It killed because because I do a joke and I'm like, yeah, I can't tell. You don't know if you can tell if I'm Mexican, and they're just like, oh, you guys don't know Mexicans, and they're like, no, and that was so crazy to me. But that alone, then they were just and it opened up the door. Yeah. But I had to switch my comedy completely to do those. It's funny.
Shows. It's funny how depending on a room, you can read a room and you can have a joke. Your normals or whatever do not great, but if you find one that opens them up, and then after that everybody feels comfortable,
right?
And then you have free reign to do whatever the fuck you want,
right.
Because then but if you don't already get that, then you can't.
Yeah, but you need that approval.
What I mean? Yeah.
Okay, we're cool, right?
Yeah.
We're good. All right. Let's move on to the. Yeah. Oh, for sure. No, and it was amazing. So thank you. Appreciate that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad the joke landed.
Yeah, exactly. You told me about the Chicoli white wine.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, giving me all the tips.
Yes, they pour it from. There's this white wine in San Sebastian that they pour literally your cups down here, and they pour it from way up here.
Yeah,
and it causes some sort of carbonation in it, and I don't know. I went to Spain by myself on a fine Derek exploration.
Wow, and that's not even a by yourself kind of. I mean, I guess it's very foodie.
Yeah,
and very,
well, I mean,
high cult. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never been to Europe, and I was going for my brother's gay wedding, and so I went to Spain by myself for a week and a half before. So I ran with the bulls. I went to Madrid. I did all the shit all by myself, and it was fucking.
You loved it?
I'd never been anywhere by myself ever. So being in a different country, only speaking Spanish for 7 days straight, and going into places and restaurants and bars and just
meeting
people.
Were people super open and nice, or
yeah, I feel like they were, and it was it was weird. I built it up so big of being this is going to be a life-changing thing for me, and it's going to, because I was kind of in a dark place before. I just wasn't happy with myself before then, and I was depending on this trip to turn everything around, and oddly enough, it did. It was weird. Like going over there just changed everything. I had this whole new like outlook on life, and like I just felt more cultured.
Yeah, you also see like Europeans are so different. They're just like they enjoy life so much.
Yeah, and
it's not about like where are you going? What's your next thing? It's just so like they just enjoy every moment.
Oh my god!
And it's so beautiful. No, when I went, this recent trip changed my life too. I did like a week by myself.
You were gone forever.
Well, I did 3 weeks. I did like
3 weeks.
I know,
but
so that 1 week by myself, just doing stand up and like living like as if this is just my life, and like going up like twice a day and just like going around and like not exploring, not knowing the cities, and that alone, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. Yeah, and it was like a schooling.
How did you book those shows?
I just started emailing, doing research. And London, so I don't know. It's like a different comedy vibe. Like you could just be like, hey guys, I'm in town. And everyone's like, contact this person and you can go to this.
That's cool.
Everyone's like very,
so everyone was like
weird.
Open and like helpful?
Yeah.
That's like, pretty awesome.
Exactly.
Imagine here, like, right? Hey man, I'm in LA for a weekend. You guys know a couple shows. Like, you'd be like, fuck off, bitch. Right? Do your own fucking work.
Exactly. No, that's how it was.
I got 4 minutes tonight. Back off.
Oh, for sure. No, it was a really cool vibe. Yeah. No, it is. I'm actually going back to do stand up October 15th through the 20th.
So like in 2 weeks, you motherfucker.
I am, and I told you I'm in debt, and I'm at this point where I don't even give a shit.
Yeah,
like,
but you're in debt. But look at this girl. She's like, I'm in debt, but like, I can go out to a bar and I drink for free.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I also pack lunches with little tequila bottles, little airplane tequila bottles.
Yeah, that's true. That's very generous.
What else is
I know all the tricks. Okay.
We've got a.
There's one more. That rosé's for you. We have a
No, there's 2 rosés left. Or actually, I don't know. What is this?
That's a Waterloo.
What the?
They're so good. Grape, mango.
Oh wait, it's just heavy.
No, we one time did a 1-minute sketch. Okay, and I feel like I think you drank a bottle of tequila.
Oh, for sure.
For the sketch?
Well, just as we went, he was like, "You better give me tequila."
Oh yeah.
We're like, all right, let's keep this going.
Yeah, I don't have like a.
And also, you don't go out. You don't stay out late now.
No.
So this is
literally. She goes. Hey, I'm doing this podcast. Do you want to come do it? It's at 10:30 p.m. And I was like, oh, you must have typed that wrong. You said p.m. And she was like, yes. And I was like, I go to bed at like 9.
I need to figure that out. No, recently people were like, what the hell? I'm like, aren't we all stand-up comedians and we just out late? I don't get it.
That's honestly like one of the hardest things for me is like when I book shows, like I have to make sure
that it's an early show.
I'm just prepared for what's gonna happen like on the day with that show, because like I work in production. I do TV shows and stuff, so it's like I'll have like a call time of 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. Yep. Work fucking all day, and then I'll have a fucking 9 p.m. show.
Brutal.
And you gotta just fucking find it and be like that fucking day that I did that show with her out in Boyle Heights. I had a 4 a.m. call time. I fucking worked all day. I literally had to go to an Equinox in downtown to shower, and then fucking go straight to the show. Pulled over, bought a Red Bull at a fucking sketchy ass fucking liquor store. At this liquor store that looked like the fucking MS-13 were hanging out there, and then walked straight into that show. And so yeah, I don't know. So then that's why I start. I like booze gives me energy.
It gives me energy too. I love it. For sure.
Yeah, if you're not sleeping in, that's super. It's like it's funny to think about a TV job as a day job, but it is a day job.
And he has like the coolest. He has the coolest job. Can you say what it is, or is this?
Yeah, no, you can say it's.
Okay, he works on.
Sounds cooler.
He's a location manager.
I'm the location manager for TV shows and movies.
For Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Which
is the best show ever.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
No, I think that's very cool.
Yeah. So when are you setting me up with LD,
I mean, he's single now.
Is he? Was he dating someone? What's his type?
No, I invited you to the fucking rap party.
The problem is he's not a hot guy.
No,
but she doesn't fucking care.
That's my, no. He's a hot guy.
No, he's not.
That's my type.
LD is your type.
LD is my this is the problem. No, this is the problem. Yes, that's my type.
That's my type. Fucking crazy. Because even LD would be like, get the fuck out of here.
No, that's... But no, when you invited me previous, you told me about it like 3 weeks before, and then you were like, oh, hey, you're like, I don't know the actual date, and then you messaged me like the day of, like at 3 p.m., like, hey, it's in 2 hours.
No, I was like, hey, it's gonna be around this time, and then like I didn't because sorry, I was a little busy.
Okay. Okay, I'm not mad. Right?
And then I was like, oh, hey, like, sorry, I forgot to tell you, but are you available? I think I didn't tell you the day of, but it was like the day before, maybe.
No, it was the day because I was at Disneyland. You're like, hey, it's later on today.
Yeah, it was the day of.
And I was like, fuck, there's no way he can get back.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a car or anything, but
it's okay.
But you were also you before you were like, hey, I'll invite you, but just don't do anything crazy. I was like, what? What do you think I'm going to do?
Like, don't hit on Larry David at the rap party.
I honestly get so clammy and was like, I wouldn't have said anything.
No, Larry's awesome. He's exactly like when people are like, what's he like in real life? I'm like,
the guy.
Exactly like on the, like at the rap party. Yeah. He comes up and, you know, Kim and Jeff Schaefer, the other EP, is talking, and they're like, you know, thank you everybody for coming and everything, and Larry gets up there and he's like, you know, thank you everybody, appreciate all your hard work, everybody keeps coming up to me, I don't remember your name, like I don't know who you are, I don't
that's great,
I don't know, so you know, it's I know you want to keep talking to me, but I just really want to go.
That's like fucking great.
So he's there
for like honesty is
I feel like what's weird about him is that like he was going to be that guy no matter what. And then it was kind of a rough go for him at first. And then Seinfeld happened. And then it gave him this ability to be that guy for the entire rest of his career.
Have you heard the stories of him when he used to do stand-up
back
in the day? But like but he was one of those guys that like say he was bombing or whatever. He would be angry at the audience.
Oh, wow.
Angry at the audience and going off on them.
Gosh.
So I remember hearing stories of other comics talking about how they would love to watch Larry go up just to watch his reaction to the audience, because also he's like, if you're up at a Broadway show, would you be fucking talking back to fucking people up there doing like, no, you owe me the same respect. And all of a sudden you know, it's this like giant long rant of that, and then he just gets pissed off and walk off stage, which is, I don't know, it's just...
Well, but you think about that, like, in real time, that was probably, like, we think of it as heroic and funny and amazing, but it's like, but that's because we know who he is now.
Exactly.
At the time, he was a struggling up-and-coming guy that was trying to make his way. Yeah. And so you think of, like...
And that's like the biggest rules, like, don't do that.
You can't
get mad at the audience.
Don't turn on the audience, because they'll turn on you. It's never the audience's
fault. It's your, you know...
But it's so funny. So the first time, can I tell a LD story?
Please.
The first time I met Larry is season 9, and I was scouting these fucking theaters, and he shows up to this theater in Westwood, and you know, immediately I'm like, holy fuck, dude, that's fucking Larry David. Yeah. You know, like, holy shit. Like, because I work around like big people all the time. There's only a few people that you're like, fuck, you know, like it's, oh shit. And he comes in there, and I'm showing these places. You know, he's very, you know, Larry's, you know, he's quiet, just looking around. Everybody's kind of, you know, pitching him the stuff. And there's a scene that's in the green room. So we're up in the green room. I'm like, hey Larry, this is the green room. And there's a girl in there just on like lunch break that works at the theater, like just like eating a salad, and just like looks up and sees like Larry David, and she's like eating this like crunchy romaine salad, just looking at Larry David. And Larry's like looking around, and the room's not really working for him. And he looks down at the table, and there's just like a pack of gum, and it's that girl's gum. And he just, not even thinking, just picks up this pack of gum, takes a piece, and starts chewing it, and puts the pack down. And everyone just kind of like looks at each other, you know. And Jeff Schaefer, who's the other, like, he's the main director, kind of showrunner with Larry, and he's like, did you just take that girl's gum? And the girl's sitting there like chewing your like romaine lettuce or whatever, and Larry's like, oh shit, was that your gum? Yeah. Oh, I just thought it was a general gum. It was like a gum here. Oh, and then he's chewing it, and then he goes, it's not a very good gum. Dude. You know, like of all the gums, it's not it's not great. And then he takes it and just threw it in the trash can, and then we walked out of the room, and this girl's just sitting there still like eating her salad, not saying a thing. And I was like, sorry.
It's Seinfeld. That's literally a Seinfeld bit.
That's immediately when I knew. I was like, I'm in. This is why. And I was like, this is what. Like, I will turn down every other job and take this job because it's the hardest job that I have.
Yeah.
And it's the furthest job because Larry only works on the West Side and filming on the West Side sucks. And but I'll do that job any day because like you get to work next to him, and then the people he brings on the show are just
so good.
Are just insane, and everybody wants to work with Larry. And then they're just cool, man. And from the top to it, it's like with that show, with like everybody from like our producers to our ADs, and like everybody works on that show because like Larry and Jeff,
you have to be like a cool person.
And they don't put up with assholes or bullshit.
Yeah.
And if you're not good at your job, you're fucking gone. And so they're like, that's like the epitome of like cool Hollywood.
Right.
Of like, like learning. Because I've been on shows, which I won't say, I'll tell you afterwards, of shows that are just like the typical Hollywood of bullshit people and fucking actors that think that they're whatever, and producers that think they're whatever, and they're all fucking assholes, and it trickles down, and it's a shitty show to work on. No one wants to work on it. No one wants to put in their full effort. But you work on a show like Curb, which is fucking hard. We're on location every day. We had 97 locations this season 10.
And that's your job.
Wow.
That's my job.
What does that come out?
It comes out this fall. I'll be in episode 6.
10?
I'll be in episode 6.
No
I'm
shit.
Excited.
Mexican Valet.
Oh, for real? You were joking about that?
Mexican Valet. It's not Mexican, but when they were like, Derek, you could do this role. And I go, what's the role? And they go, it's a valet. And I was like, only white guys were telling me this. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I could do that role. They're like, you're perfect for it. I'm like, why? Because I'm fucking Mexican?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll take it. I get a scene in Curb, done.
That is literally a bit, that whole gum thing. Because it's like, it's the faux pas combined with the fact that he analyzes it after.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's both. He's like, oops, sorry. But also, it's a terrible guy. Like, it's just perfect. It's like, exactly.
And I have like, there's so many, like, that's one of the best things about like working on that show, which I don't get from any other show, but it's you work with a guy like that, and he'll just give you like little things. I was in an elevator one time with him and Schaefer, just me, him, and Schaefer. And he's like, "You like this shirt?" He's like, I hadn't worn this shirt.
Oh my God.
I hadn't worn this shirt in 10 years because I used to have a stain here. I got it out of my drawer the other day. No stain at all. And Schaefer looks at him. He's like, it's like the best little miracle that doesn't matter.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, this is the best shirt.
Dude, I'm blown away.
And also, like, reminds
and then
you
the door opens, and then we walked out, and then no one ever discussed this ever, and I'm just like sitting here by myself, like I'm fucking like
I'm blown away.
Like, just it's the best.
That blows me away.
Yeah,
that little elevator conversation is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But dude, it's brilliant and it's so small, and it makes you realize like the funny is so it's tiny. You have to like.
Here's the one thing I love basing off the Japanese. Simple is all simple, clean, perfect. Like that is always like when you think of like the funniest stuff and like things that like I don't know, the things that hit you. It's always so because it's always like, oh man, why didn't I think of that? Oh man, and it's always like that.
We're always like overthinking
simple.
things.
Yes,
we're trying
exactly.
so hard to think of like what has no one thought
Even
about.
Imagine when you try to tell a story. When you try to tell a story, and when it really hits, it's when it's that short story that
right.
little simple thing.
Yeah,
and just very like specific.
Yes. Yeah.
And honest.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're not making much up.
Yeah.
It's like this is exactly what happened.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you're not hyperbolizing it.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I did that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That elevator bit is so funny. Like the miracle that the stain is gone. That's so stupid and small. But that's such a. Well,
he was like, I didn't wear the shirt for 10 years. No.
And also the idea that you just save that shirt. And I've done that. I have so many clothes that have stains that I just cannot.
Yeah.
Hoping that will happen. One day they will find that like.
I have these brand new shirts. I just got a washer and dryer in my new place. Not up here to brag, guys, but I got a fucking washer and dryer.
All right, dude.
Washer and dryer and a rooftop patio. Moved to North Hollywood.
Wow.
This is what the fuck happens. And get a 3-year-old, and then fucking shit changes. But so I'm doing laundry all the time now, just because I have a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got 3 dirty clothes.
3 times.
Fucking turning it in. My girlfriend called me out because. I've been using
too much water?
fabric softener as detergent. I didn't know there was a difference.
Yeah, that's
and
hilarious.
So I was staining all my shirts with like these fucking just big stains. It just looked like I'd like spilt something on them. And I'm like, where the fuck are these coming from? And then she saw me doing laundry one day and she's like, are you pouring the fucking fabric softener in the thing? And I was like, it's got the little bear on it. It's got the fucking, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
No, it's
How
not.
am I supposed to know?
How the fuck am I supposed to know?
All the things you're going to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the first lesson.
What else
is
is he gonna
learn? What else am I gonna learn?
What is
how to put a tampon in?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Oh yeah, you guys never hit on that.
We never got to this. I have no idea as a man exactly what happens. Listen, I've bought tampons in the box, and I've seen them in a toilet and in a trash can, and in a vagina.
Yeah, but
from the string. But I don't know how it gets from the box.
I love that you're so intrigued by that.
I'm really not. I just realized that I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
I wish I had one with me.
I only picture, like, you know the things that you put in between the toilet paper? Yeah. To put the toilet paper in there?
That
squeezy thing? Yeah. I picture it just being like that with a string.
Yeah. It is like that, but it's closed and when you have it squished.
What do you mean squished? That doesn't even make sense to me. That's a new fucking thing. What do I mean, squished?
The middle, that thing from the toilet paper holder.
Oh, yeah.
You have to open it. Yeah. You have to squish it.
I mean, you squeeze it to make it smaller.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. It comes like that. It comes squished.
And it expands.
So it fucking gets bigger?
Yeah. So it expands and it opens. It pushes it in.
I still don't get it. Like, what do you mean? It shoots it in like a torpedo?
You got to read the box.
I'm not going to read the fucking box. That's why we're here.
I've been married 7 years.
So you know.
I actually
don't know either?
I actually don't know. Wow. I'm realizing it as we speak.
Yeah.
And I don't know the mechanics of the compression.
Yeah,
there's a compression. There's a spring-loaded element.
Is there a spring-loaded element?
That's how I picture.
Yes.
It's spring-loaded, or is it so it like it?
Do you mind actually laying it out for us in a non awful way?
Close your legs. We don't need a fucking.
Yeah.
Lorraine,
like, this is the audio part. Lorraine, don't.
Please.
No.
No, it's just basically the tampon is in between two little.
You're the fucking worst. Fucking.
And then it's like what you said, and then you push it, and then it pushes the cotton in. So
Man,
like,
don't invite Lorraine to your sex ed class to teach fucking.
No one taught me how to have sex. So
is it like a push pop?
It's a push pop.
Oh,
it's a push pop. Thank
okay.
you. Easy.
There we
Voila.
go. Thank you, man. Explaining what a woman can't yet again.
Classic mansplaining.
Gosh,
Hashtag feminists.
I never had to say that out loud. I never had to explain it to anyone. But good that you know.
Well, did your mom teach you?
I don't think anyone told me.
You just figured it out.
No one tells you anything.
That's how I figured out masturbation. I thought masturbation was something fucking weird for like years. I didn't know what what I thought masturbation was for the longest time. I saw Skinamax, like a Skinamax show. We were having a sleepover, and I saw a Skinamax show, and it was a woman. It was like one of those titty shows, and it was a woman. She was like fantasizing, and then in her fantasy, it went into like the sex scene, right? And then when it came back, it was her just like moving naked on a countertop in her kitchen, and she was like, "Oh my God, was I just masturbating?" And I thought masturbating was just moving like this in a kitchen. And so I was like, people just like do that?
What?
Yeah.
So did you do that? You started to do that?
Well, yeah, I tried it one time and I was like,
this is it?
I was like, I don't know if I'm a masturbator. This ain't doing it for me. I'm going to go back to jerking my dick off because this shit's fucking stupid.
Oh, that's good. Wow. How old were you?
I mean, I think I was in like 5th grade, 6th grade.
But
it wasn't until like 7th grade when I was like, how I figured out what masturbation was. It's weird. So I figured out it was from, do you remember the Joe Pesci show skit on SNL from back in the day? With Jim Brewer would host it. He was Joe Pesci. He did a Joe Pesci impersonation. And we'd get his 2 actors to come on or whatever. And one guy would play Robert De Niro, whoever it was. Mm-hmm. And then they'd have somebody else on. And so it was called the Joe Pesci Show. And he had John Goodman on playing Robert De Niro. And they're doing this skit or whatever. And as Robert De Niro, John Goodman's like, like that during the thing. And I was like,
that's it.
I wonder if he's doing that to his dick.
Oh.
And so then I was like, okay. And then I went, whoa. And I was like, holy shit. And then that's how I discovered masturbating.
I didn't know what sex was till I was 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then what happened? Then you just turned into a fucking just giant.
No, I thought it was just cuddling naked.
Yeah.
And making out. And I was like, that's
very
sex.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one
I
talks
hope
about
that's
it.
all you were doing as a teen.
Yeah.
Right? No, I didn't do it. And then I was like, all of a sudden, I was like, what's happening? And I'm like, but it's also like, why? I'm too old to not know that. Like,
Right.
no, my friends didn't talk about it.
How often do you think that? I probably shouldn't say this. This is more
No, for sure.
This is more me being the host. I don't like. It's a big subject, but it's like, how often do you think men? Like, how often do you think women are sort of the innocent ones in the sex exploration, and then men are the ones that go, "This is what it is." You know what I mean?
As a young age or now?
First,
when you're young?
the first ones
yeah.
to start the whole process.
Well,
I feel like women are so innocent in the whole process.
I think it's different now.
Well, I feel it might be different now, but I remember, I don't know how old you are, but like,
Don't tell my age. Don't call me out.
Yeah, I just feel like we didn't even have fucking sex ed. Like, our sex ed was
no one talked about anything.
We got pulled into another class and they showed us how to put a condom on a banana or something like that. And I remember just being like, when am I ever going to use a condom, you fucking douchebag? Like,
yeah, but I feel like, and it could be different. It could be different now, but I feel like, porn. I was more into porn than girls our age.
But also, like, I didn't have porn growing up. We had scrambled porn.
Right.
Scrambled porn for me.
Mags,
what's scrambled porn?
Scrambled porn was Channel 99,
right.
And it was like a fucked up picture. You got full audio and like maybe a titty every now and then, and you'd be looking for that random titty, and you get titty. That's actually the one time my dad walked in on me jerking off was when I was watching scrambled porn. We never talked about it to this day. Dad, hope you're not listening to this podcast.
Oh, wow.
Dude, that's a funny moment.
Yeah. He walked in on me, ankles down, or like pants around the ankles, full hand and dick, and it was like scrambled porn, and my dad had just ninja'd up the stairs and was like, hey, dinner's ready, and then just disappeared again. And I was like, ah! And then I had to go down and eat dinner, and of course we don't acknowledge it, so we're just like eating dinner like.
He was like so proud of you. He was like, my son. But also to think about that back in the day when you're watching scrambled porn, you just see one like nipple here and there. Oh my
God, it was the
versus
best.
Versus now, and you have it all.
I can't even imagine. Like so my porn growing up.
Better than
my porn growing up was with scrambled porn. My dad had like a Fredericks of Hollywood, Fredericks of Hollywood, the lingerie thing. So like I had that, or maybe like a JCPenney bra catalog. Like that's all we fucking had. Or like one of my buddies got a hold of like some torn out pages of a Hustler one time.
Yep.
And like that's it. And then 56K dial up, which like I downloaded Pamela Anderson's titties one time, and they're like coming down like. And then my mom's car's like pulling up into the driveway, and I'm like, I'm gonna give it 5 more seconds, and I'm gonna get a nipple, and then I gotta close this whole shit out and delete history, and then fucking start over Windows 95, and then it's gonna be a whole thing.
Here's a question I have, Lorraine. Okay. Do girls get caught masturbating? Like, because I know a lot of young dude stories of getting
I feel like
caught.
they can hide it more, right?
No, I mean, to be honest, I never masturbated till I was in my 30s.
And you're 54 now?
What?
Yeah, when I was... No, but when I was in my 20s, I was in a relationship the whole entire time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't having any sex.
Right.
But I also... So I didn't know what I was missing. And I didn't know... And I think I was also like... I grew up very sheltered. And I also didn't know... When you don't know what's happening, like, you're just like, I don't know. I just never felt that.
Yeah.
But I feel like even a sheltered dude...
Yeah,
would have found it
for sure.
I didn't.
Well, because like I always got, but like I remember my little brother's 3 years younger than me, and I just remember like him just being like, "Get out of the fucking bathroom!" You're like, "I'm pooping again." That's why I'm in here for 98 minutes.
Oh my God.
Which is like, I don't know. I feel like as a boy, like you discover it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like as I've gotten older and you can like talk about it without being embarrassed to other dudes. It's like, oh yeah, like when you found out, you were like,
yeah.
and then
Yep.
But no one ever talks about it when you're that age, or even in fucking high school.
But I feel
college,
like a lot of the talk about just men and women, and then especially now, it's like it's all the same. But it's like I feel like the experience of growing up in sexuality is extremely different. Even if you're
it's still stigmatized for women, I feel.
And
like.
especially the hypersexualization. I think that I think women are hypersexual, but I honestly think there's so many more women I know that didn't you didn't touch masturbation until you're 30. That's insane. I found it when I was 9.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know a single dude that made it past 13.
But also when I was growing up, I had no one talk to me about anything, so I had all these ideas in my head.
Yeah.
So it was like the first guy I have sex with, I have to marry him. No one told me that. So I was always thinking these weird shit,
I didn't know that you came, so I thought you had to pee inside a girl.
Oh,
right.
really?
Yeah.
Well,
What?
Yeah, that's.
I was like, oh, you pee inside her. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't know that other stuff came out of that. I was like, piss comes out of this. So if something comes out, because people are like, oh, and it comes out, and I was like, oh yeah, pee. It's when you pee inside a girl. I was like, that's weird, because
no, but also I don't know, maybe I'm just an idiot. I swear, but I was in a sexless relationship for 5 years in my 20s.
A what?
Sexless.
Oh, sexless.
We just didn't have a lot of sex. He always had some issue, and I was like, I love him. I don't know. And as soon as that ended, I started exploring more, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this was even possible.
The whole world.
But also, women's bodies are so different. It's not so that different. Easy. It's very mental, or so. Now, a lot of times, even people that my friends that I've not dated and they've been in relationships, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if you know all this stuff. I think I've learned so much. Also, too late.
Yeah.
I'm having way too much fun in my 30s where I'm like, people are like, are you okay?
You can't be having
No, I'm having a lot of fun.
No such thing.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so do you have any life lesson that you want to share with us? Is there something, I feel like you've taught us a lot on this
life
podcast
lesson.
tonight.
I don't know. I don't know that I have my actual life lesson would be just keep swiping, keep swiping right.
Oh, is that for me?
No. I might. She was my last Bumble date.
No way.
Yeah, she was my last Bumble date.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So just keep swiping, guys.
Keep swiping swipes. Queep swiping swipes. I've had a couple of tequilas. Keep swiping right, and you know what? Yeah, here's the thing. When you know, you know.
I love that.
When you know, you know. And honestly, too, the bigger thing, when you don't know, you know too.
Right.
Exactly.
Because that was my thing for the longest time. It's I just knew. I was like, she's fun. She's cool. She's great. I know she's not the one.
I do that all the time. Yeah.
So then I'm like, then I'm not gonna feel bad for being an asshole. I don't know. So that was my
Is there anything that you want to plug? Anything you're doing, or?
I mean, just
you're getting fucking engaged next week.
Getting engaged.
Right?
Yeah.
That's.
I honestly
huge.
think this is actually really cool.
Thank
you have
you.
documentation.
This is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
you're gonna have that.
Follow me on Instagram. You can follow.
you
can watch my. I'm gonna go live with my story on the
Please
gram.
Do.
I'm gonna fucking be like, hey, how many likes can I get on this fucking?
You're gonna kill.
Fucking live proposal.
Dude, can you imagine your engagement bombing on Instagram? You're like,
I got 4 likes. What the fuck, Mom? My Uncle Larry, and that's it. What the fuck?
You get unfollowed.
No. Damn, there we go.
Oh no, that's
definitely gonna happen.
No,
that's going to happen.
The amount of here's what we should look at how many followers I have now.
Stats.
Yes.
Keep the
Here's
stats.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at my followers now, which is it's embarrassing, but don't laugh. It's 1911.
Okay.
Like 9/11.
Okay.
With a 1 in front of it. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. So we'll see after Thursday if it goes down to below 1700.
All right, put on your Insta story, do a post about it, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you, Derek, for coming on the show. You've been hilarious. Nolan, this is amazing.
So fun.
All right, guys. This is the second episode of Lorraine Loves Derek Alvarado.